Hi, I'm Jason, stage and voice actor from the DC, Maryland, Virginia area, and I want to be the voice of your next project. With years of training and experience, I can voice your narration, podcast, animation, commercial, or video game. Please visit my website at www.jasonkanovo.com. That's www.jasonkanovo.com. Listen to my demo and click the Contact Me button to reach out. I look forward to working with you, and as always, let's talk.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the Q.A.C. team podcast. How are you this afternoon?
Great. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Thanks for joining me. Let's go ahead and get started and tell our audience who you are and what you do.
Hi, so I'm John the Video Guy. I'm a freelance video editor and content creator. I used to work for a company for around 9 years, and I recently left to start my own business. So I'm a freelance video editor. And in part of that, I'm also a content creator on YouTube. So I help create tutorials, educational content on the platform.
Nice. So you worked for a bigger company before you went on your own?
Correct. Yeah, I used to work for a company. And I was there for 9 years, did video editing, did graphic design work. And just this past year, I left, went on my own to do freelance video editing.
Nice. That's great. Yeah, because my next question, Ali, goes into, so why'd you decide to be a business owner? So let's talk about that. What made you break away? I love it.
Yeah. So I think for me, being there for 9 years, I felt like in my role there, I felt like I kind of reached my ceiling in some regards. I feel like I kind of took it as far as I could. I think the next level would be to start my own business or to step into a manager role. Like I started to become a manager there, managing other people, but I felt like the opportunity to start my own business just felt better for me. So I went that direction.
Yeah, that's like when I do these podcast interviews, that's like a common thread from all of us. We all left the corporate world, the bigger world, because we wanted more. We wanted to step out of that corporate role like that, and welcome to our side.
Thank you.
I love it. I love it. So why'd you choose this industry? Let's talk about that. 'Cause I love this industry. I couldn't wait to interview you.
Yeah, so I first started getting into video editing when I was in high school, actually. So, I just messed around on the computer. I love making things, in Photoshop, just experimenting with different elements. And when I was in high school, I took a few classes, and that's when I was like, oh, this can be a career. So that's where I learned a lot of the skills. And then coming out of high school, that's when I started working for the company. It was actually first through an internship. So
Gotcha.
I actually didn't go to college. I ended up just taking the classes and interning and then just entering the workforce, which is very unique. Yeah, a lot of people don't do that. They usually like go to college. But I was fortunate to land an internship and then start working right away.
That's great. Yeah, because a lot of us we're not fortunate enough to be able to do an internship and so you can kind of learn and grow as you're doing what you want to do. When I got started, I was just thrown in the deep end of customer service, and here I am.
Yeah.
So, what are some of the challenges you face from, before working and then now switching and coming to your own and then doing your own working for yourself? Give us a little bit of detail about that.
Yeah, I think for me, the biggest challenge shifting from like a 9 to 5 job to starting your own business is like you wear all the hats, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like before, it's actually easier when you're in a 9 to 5 job because you just show up and do the work. But now that you're kind of like the cook, chef, you're the dishwasher, you're everybody, you have to worry about accounting and taxes and like invoicing, contracts. But I think trying to figure that all out, trying to figure out my schedule, that's probably been the biggest hurdle. Because before I would just go in and work, but now I'm like, okay, I need to figure out time to like actually work on my business and work in my business, actually video editing, and then also marketing, sales, and all of that.
Yeah, that makes it a challenge, right? I don't know if
Mhm.
you heard the book by Michael Gerber called The E-Myth.
I have not, no.
Yeah. You want to pick that up. That'll really help you. I kind of recommend it to a lot of people, and this isn't a plug for, I'm not a sales guy for Michael Gerber or the E-Myth or anything. It's a book that I always recommend to a lot of people, especially like us who are just getting started. And I read it my first time around when I was just doing strictly mystery shopping back in 2008. I picked that book up. Somebody recommended it to me, and was it eye-opening? I tell you, when I started reading it, as I got through, I could see the things I was doing wrong, and oh my gosh, like I feel like I got to start over. But I was my train was going off the rails, but then I was able to reel it back in just by reading his book. It's very powerful. It's very, very powerful. I really highly recommend you pick it up.
Cool. Yeah, I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, yeah. So let's talk a little bit about the things that you offer. So you do videography and you do content creation as well?
Correct. So primarily, the service part of my business is more video editing, videography. So I'm based in Cleveland, Ohio. So I offer, local videography. I do travel as well,
Okay.
for a few destination events, but primarily videography and video editing. But then I also run a YouTube channel. So I'm able to
Okay.
monetize like my YouTube channel. I get money from like, YouTube AdSense from the ads on my videos. And there's a few different ways I monetize the channel. As a content creator, I sell like digital products. I work with brands and sponsorships. So, if a brand wants to sponsor the channel, I'll work with them and create like a commercial or kind of like a way to integrate them with my content. But those are the ways I kind of structure my business. I wanted to try to make it so that like 50% is like content creation and 50% is service based. Because I've always thought about leaving and starting my own business, but I was always worried like what if I don't get enough work as a video editor or videographer. So have starting that YouTube channel with that passive income and an extra layer of padding really helped me be more confident when I left my 9 to 5.
Gotcha. So were you doing this before you left your 9 to 5, or did you do like I did? I just cut the cord and I rolled.
I actually did. So I started my YouTube channel back in 2021. That's when I started taking it seriously and like, okay, I'll grow it. And that's when I really focused and leaned into it. So I focused on building it for about 3 years and then I left my corporate job. So it took around 3 years to get to a solid point. And I was like, okay, I'm good. I think I can leave and pick up the slack with, freelance video editing work essentially.
Freelance, right? So what are your what projects do you like to work on? What's your specialty when it comes to videography? Do you have like one thing that you love to focus on, or you'll do anything?
I do a lot of things, but I think my specialty is in live events. So I enjoy shooting
Oh,
like weddings or like recap videos from events. There could be a lot of different corporate events, community events. Uh, trying to tell a story is really nice from an event. But I also have been getting into a lot of social media content as well, doing a lot of Instagram reels for businesses, promoting their products and services. I also enjoy doing those as well.
yeah. Yeah, that's where I struggle. I'm not a big I don't I mean I like social media, but it's not my thing. I know I need it. I know I need to really stay on top of it, but it's just, creating the content, getting it out there is very difficult when you're busy doing, putting every hat on and trying to run your
Yep.
business. It makes it a challenge. So might have to reach out to you and
Yeah,
have you
definitely.
help me
I
out
mean,
a little bit, be one
I
of your
mean,
customers.
every business needs like, video content these days. It's crazy how important it is to like drive marketing and sales.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So you've been doing this for a year on your own now. So it's still kind of fresh, kind of new, right?
Mhm.
So I guess, the next question is going to be, so what are your expectations for the next year or two? Where do you see yourself, heading in direction, and what you got working on in a year or two? Do you see what your focus is?
Yeah, I think for me, my mission is really to spread the word about content creation and like, try to inspire a lot of other people to build a YouTube channel, whether you're an individual or maybe you are a business. I think it's a great platform to like grow, share your story, share your mission, um, and really just share that message of like, you can promote your business or, share your message with the world on YouTube. I feel like that's the place I kind of want to lean into is YouTube. I will always still do video editing and videography, and I have a lot of clients I love to work with. So I think for me, it's just balancing, just focusing on working with the clients I enjoy working with, but then also focusing on growing my YouTube channel.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I tell you, Spotify did me a favor when they changed and they went away from that record with friends. That's how I used to record my podcast, so just all voice only. And when that day came and they switched, I was getting ready to do a podcast. I was like, oh no, what do I do? So ended up, turning to Zoom and putting things on YouTube. And this has been a blessing because, as you said, I love YouTube. I am so glad that things went the way they went. So I am right where I want to be and need to be, you know. So YouTube was really cool.
Yep.
Yeah. So how do we reach out to you? How do we contact you if we want to see what you got and see what you have to offer?
Sure. So, yeah, if you want to reach out, you can visit my website at johnthevideoguy.com. That's also my YouTube handle. So, if you do want to check out my YouTube channel, it's called John the Video Guy. I make a lot of different, tutorials if you're interested in video editing. And I've been also getting into a lot of other content as well. Like if you're interested in starting a YouTube channel, kind of creating those type of videos as well.
Appreciate it, man. That's awesome. Yeah, I can't wait to check out your stuff. As I looked over and saw what this podcast was going to be about today, I was like, "Whoa, this is going to be really cool." I'm very interested in seeing how you do things and what your approach is to videography. Because I don't know if you know, I have my own series that I'm working on called Chasing the Stars, and I've got some really good ideas on how I want to make things better for my second episode. But I want to reach out to you and we'll talk about how I want to push that forward. Maybe you can give me some guidance and work with me on make this thing happen.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, I appreciate it. All right, folks, there you go. You heard it from John, the Video Guy. Reach out to him. Love what he does. I can't wait to see all your content. And I love it. Yeah. What do you believe a thought with our audience before we wrap up here?
Yeah, so I mean, I think if you are interested in starting a YouTube channel, I did put together a free worksheet. So I will mention that. I think YouTube's really special. I think even if you don't want to start a YouTube channel, it's just really cool to experiment and just see how the platform works. But if you are interested in building a channel, you can download a free worksheet on my website at johnthevideoguy.com.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I'll have to put a link to that in the show notes when I upload this so we can get everybody. Well, now I definitely can't wait to see that because, like I said, I'm new to YouTube. I think like 7 or 8 episodes in on my podcast with using YouTube. And I'm learning, keywording and how to really write, the beef of the information for each podcast. So I'm getting there. It's a challenge, but I'm working on it.
Yep.
Well, John, I really appreciate you coming on and taking the time and telling your story. It's been great. I love what you do, and I hope our audience reaches out to you and wants to hear what you have to say.
Yeah. Well, thank you for having me on, Charles.
Absolutely, John. Appreciate it, man. Thanks again, and we'll talk soon.
Cool. See ya.
See ya. Take care, man.
Bye.
You've been listening to the Q.A.C. Team podcast with your host, Charles Luttrell. Connect with us on the web at QACteam.com, TikTok at Q.A.C. Team, Facebook and Instagram at QAC.team. Thanks for your support.